We are going to start creating a new project. In this case, it's going to be example 3. Just use any domain that you want. Let's do it quickly. This application is going to be used on Android Lollipop, but we want the minimum to be the 3.0. This is fine at the moment. We can change it at any time. Okay, a blank activity. Let's say main activity. The first thing that we need to do is download a JSON file from the internet. So for that, we are going to do it in the most basic way. So we are going to use async task. So if we come to the definition of async task enables proper and easy use of the UI thread. This class allows to perform background operation and publish results on the UI thread. So how this is going to help us? This is the class that is going to download the information from the network, from Reddit in this case, and after we process that information, we are going to show it in the UI. Because we don't know how long it's going to take to download the data from Reddit, we can't block the UI and we can't make the user wait until it downloads. That's why we use async task. Is something that is going to be downloaded on the background, and when it finishes, it will tell to the user this has finished, so it will show the result on the screen, but always on background, so you can be doing another thing on the applications in the meantime. Okay. Once we learn the basics, how to use an syntax and how to download something, then we will start using some libraries that it will be what you will use when working or like professionally, just to increase your efficiency, your speed doing it, but it's better to understand everything from the base at first. Okay, this is loading. So first we are just going to have a main activity that will create a sync task and will download the content. As always, remove this part. There are two ways to do this. We can create an async task in a standard class, or we can create an async task in a private class inside this class. We are going to do the easiest way first, which is creating a private async task. So private class my async task. What we have to say is that this extend async task, and this is going to need 3 types. One is the types of the param that the async task is going to need. The second one is the type of the progress, and the third one is the type of the result. So for example, if my async task is going to download something, then it's going to need a URL. So that URL is a type string, so that is the params type. Then the progress is I want to show the progress of the download. I can have a progress bar, and I can show the progress from 1 to 100. That is going to be an integer. And finally, the result is going to be a JSON, which will be a string. So the param is a string. We are not going to show any progress, so this is empty type, nothing here. And then we are going to return another string. And we can change it at any time. Okay. So now, if you add the brackets and you click on implement method, this asks you to implement the mandatory method of an async task, which is doing background. If we come back to the documentation for a moment, we have here the 3 main methods of an async task. One is doing background, which is the method that is going to do the work in the background, as the name says. Then, this is optional, we can have the method on progress update. And finally, we will need the method on post execute. And this method on post execute is the method called when our background work has finished. Okay, so I only have one method here. How do I use the other method? So right click, generate override method, and here you can see all the methods of async task. So just click on post-execute, which is the one that we need. Okay, so how is this going to work? This is going to do some background work here, and then it's going to return something that we'll call on post-execute. So let's try Lesson69. This is going to return hello async stack, and this is going to show it on the screen. So just, I don't know, let's create a toast message. The context of the activity, then we need the text to show, in this case s, and then we need the length, which is in a variable inside the class toast, which is going to be short, and finally the method show. Okay, so what will happen here when we execute the async stack? We will do some background work. This will return something to onPostExecute, and onPostExecute, this is already on the UI thread, will show this message. Okay, this is the async stack created. Now we have to execute the async stack. So for that, we just create a new, let's create a new my async stack, and my task is equal a new my async stack. Okay, and now I want my async stack point execute. No parents at the moment. Okay, we can test this. We launch it in any emulator. It doesn't mind if it's Lollipop or not at the moment. Just launch it in an emulator. So the application will open, and we see the message here, which is done by the async stack. Okay, this is a simple class. This is just returning a value here. But what if we want to do? What if we need to send a parameter? So then this is going to be my parameter, which is a string. This is okay because this is receiving a string params. So then this is going to do in background with my string param coming here. This is an array of params. Okay, so this is more than one string. I could start adding more than one params here, and this will be given here as an array. So for example, my first param will be params on the position 0. Okay, so now I'm going to return my first param, and I'm going to launch this, and I hope to see my first param. And the second param at the moment is being ignored. It's not used. Okay, sending parameter. Now if I choose the second one, this will show the second param. Okay, it's clear. So let's finish teaching a few more tips about async stack. Async stack, regarding to the threading, is execute sequentially. This means serially. This means that if you start launching different async stack, they are going to be executed one after another. They are not going to be in parallel. If we want, for some reason, to do work in background in parallel, we will need to create a thread executor. This is explained here. So if we want parallel execution, we will need to create a thread poll executor, which is a way to add a lot of executor in the same pool and then run them again. So we can specify how much do we want to run at the same time. This is just to going deeper on async stack, but we are not going to use this at the moment. Okay, and the last thing is that you can implement the method on cancel. So you can also cancel async stack. Imagine that you are downloading something, but the user is very impatient, so he goes to another screen. Then on pause, you will have to cancel the background tasks that were pending. Because, for example, if this is going to do some work, and this is going to return with some operation that we are going to do in the UI, what happens if this work is going to take a minute, and by when the time has finished, we are in another screen. This is going to try to execute this code, and this is not going to work because we are not going to be in this screen anymore. So for that, it's useful the method cancel that we can implement. Okay, so this is all. AC stack is the basic way. I'll do something in background. What we need to do now is in background download the post from Reddit.